Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to jump into some really common and, let's be honest, kind of confusing phrases in English. You can think of them as secret power-ups that'll really take your conversation game to the next level.
So, have you ever heard a sentence like this and felt like you were trying to crack a code? Get away with, put up with, backing out of? I mean, they're all over the place in everyday English, and they can definitely leave you scratching your head.
If that sentence felt a little strange, don't even worry about it. You are in exactly the right place. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break this all down, and I promise it's going to click.
So, what are these things anyway? The best way to think about them isn't as some boring grammar rule. Nope. Think of them as a secret weapon for sounding more fluent. A real power-up for your vocabulary.
You know, the formula here is actually pretty simple. You take a verb, you add a little word, a particle like up or out, and then you tack on a preposition like with or for. And poof, those three words team up to make a totally new meaning, one that's often completely different from the original verb. And yeah, their technical name is a real mouthful, but you'll hear them constantly in casual, everyday chats.
Let's see this in action. Okay, so you take the verb come, add the particle up, and then the preposition with. What do you get? Come up with. You're not literally moving upwards with something. The whole new meaning is to invent or suggest an idea. It's like a little bit of word magic.
All right, so we've got the formula down. Now let's see how these power-ups actually work out in the wild. We're going to start with a few that are all about how we deal with other people.
First up, fall out with. Now, this has zero to do with gravity. It just means you've had an argument with someone, and now, well, your friendship is kind of broken, or at least on hold. It's a super common way to talk about a big disagreement.
For instance, you might hear someone say this: "It's so quick and natural, right? It packs a whole story into just a few words, that there was a fight and things aren't great between them and their parents right now." It's way more natural than saying, "I have had a significant relational conflict with my parents."
Okay, on a happier note, let's talk about look up to somebody. And again, we're not talking about your physical height. If you look up to someone, it just means you admire them. They're a role model to you.
This is a perfect way to see it used. It paints this great picture of someone who's earned respect, not for being tall, but for who they are, for being smart. So, who's someone that you look up to? And the last one for this section is stand up for. This one is really powerful. It means you're using your voice, maybe your actions, to defend a person or an idea, especially when they're getting attacked.
And this example really shows you how important it can be. It's not just about defending your friends, right? It's about defending big ideas, defending principles. When you stand up for something, you're showing real courage and conviction.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. You know, life isn't always smooth sailing, and our next batch of verbs is perfect for talking about all the hurdles and problems that we have to deal with. So our first hurdle is come up against. You use this when you're just going along and then, bam, you suddenly run into a problem or a roadblock you weren't expecting.
This is such a great, supportive thing to say to someone. It recognizes, hey, problems happen, and it offers help. It's important to remember, you don't come up against success, you come up against a challenge.
So what do you do when you hit a problem? Well, sometimes you have to cut back on something. This just means you reduce how much you're doing or spending. It's all about making a choice to use a little less.
And here's an example I think we can all relate to. Notice you're not getting rid of fat and sugar completely. You're just reducing them. It's the exact same idea with money. You might cut back on going out to eat so you can save up for something big.
And our last one for this group is shy away from. This is a fantastic phrase for when you're avoiding something not because you're lazy, but because it feels intimidating, or maybe you're scared, or you just don't feel confident about it. It perfectly captures that feeling of hesitation.
Now that is a powerful thing to say about yourself. The person saying this is telling you they're brave, they're confident, they face challenges directly. They don't try to avoid the tough stuff. It's the exact opposite of shying away.
Okay, so we've just learned 6 of these awesome new verbs. But the real question is, how do they actually sound when they're all mixed together in a real conversation? Let's take a look.
Just listen to how naturally these all weave together to tell a little story. It says, you can't just shy away from your problems. I used to fall out with people, but I had to learn to stand up for my ideas. Now when I come up against a challenge, I try to cut back on excuses. It's better, and there are people I really look up to for their help. See that? It doesn't sound like a list from a textbook. It sounds like a real person talking about their life. That's the magic of these verbs. And just like that, you've taken in a whole lot of really useful stuff. So, what's next? Well, that part is your mission.
Think about it. In just the last few minutes, you've unlocked 6 new power-ups for your English toolkit.
6 verbs that are going to help you sound way more natural and understand conversations so much better. That is some seriously efficient learning.
So the knowledge is yours now, but the only way to really make it stick is to get out there and use it. So my question for you is, which one of these power-ups are you going to try out first? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.